I want to ask you a question. You tired of having negative thoughts? How many times have you had a thought like this? I'm too stupid. I'm too ugly. I'm too poor. Or maybe you feel misunderstood at school or work. You feel alone, even when you're surrounded by people. So please stick around until the end of the video so that you don't miss anything. Let's get started. Do you ever get so frustrated at yourself that you just want to give up? They can make us doubt God's promises, and they can cause us to give up on our dreams. But God has a plan for each one of us. He has good plans for us. Plans to prosper us, not to harm us. Just plant good thoughts and watch the negative ones disappear. Start by acknowledging your negative thoughts and asking God to help you change them. Plans to give us hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you. If you're struggling to overcome negative thinking, don't hesitate to ask God for help. He wants to help you, but you have to ask. James 4:2 tells us, "You have not because you ask not." Notice the word ask. It says right there, "You have not because you ask not." Many times we don't have what we want because we don't ask for it. We need to learn to come boldly before the throne of grace, where we can find help in time of need. Remember, God is there to help you. You just have to ask. I like to ask God to help me see myself the way He sees me. I ask Him to remind me of the good things He has done in my life and to give me faith in His plan for me. When you ask God for help, He will give it to you. And as you continue to ask, you will begin to see negative thoughts replaced with positive ones. Once you have acknowledged your negative thoughts, it's time to replace them with positive ones. You can overcome negative thinking by acknowledging your negative thoughts, replacing them with positive ones, and asking God for help. It's not easy, but it's worth it. As you begin to think positively, you will begin to see positive things happen in your life. You will begin to feel better about yourself and more confident in God. You will be able to accomplish anything you set your mind to. So don't give up. Keep focusing on the good and keep asking God for help. This can be difficult, but it's important to remember that our thoughts can either make us or break us. So we need to choose what we think about carefully. One way to do this is to memorize Bible verses that speak truth over your life. For example, if you struggle with feeling like you're not good enough, memorize a verse like Psalm 139:13, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb." Or if you struggle with feeling anxious, memorize a verse like Philippians 4:6. "Therefore, be anxious for nothing. From first to last, pray for everything. Ask God for help. Resist evil, and God will help you fight it." Another way to replace negative thoughts with positive ones is to focus on all the good things in your life. Every morning I like to write down 3 things I'm grateful for. This helps me to focus on the positive and reminds me that God is in control. It also helps me to see how blessed I am. Sometimes when we're going through hard times, it's easy to forget all the good things in our lives. But when we focus on the good, we feel better. We attract good things into our lives. So take some time each day to focus on all the good things in your life. This will help you replace negative thoughts with positive ones. It's not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Let me tell you a story. One day the father said to the older son, "Hey, can you go into the field and bring me 10 stones?" So the son went into the field and brought his father 10 stones. The father was happy and said, "Good job, son." Then he turned to the younger son and said, "Hey, can you go into the field and bring me 10 stones?" The younger son rolled his eyes and said, "Whatever." He went into the field and brought his father only 5 stones. The father was disappointed and said, "Why did you only bring me 5 stones? I asked you for 10. The younger son replied, "Well, I didn't feel like walking all the way back after I got the first 5 stones. The father looked at him and said, "This is the difference between the two of you. Your brother saw 10 stones in the field, but you only saw 5. You need to learn to look for the good in every situation. The next time you're faced with a difficult situation, remember the story of the two sons? Look for the good in the situation and focus on that. This will help you replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Notice the word prosper. To prosper means to succeed, to thrive, to flourish. God doesn't want us to live defeated lives filled with negative thoughts. He wants us to live successful, happy, and fulfilling lives. So how do we do that? By changing our mindset. The first step to overcoming negative thinking is to acknowledge that you have them. There was a young woman who struggled with negative thoughts. She felt like she was not good enough or smart enough to achieve her dreams. No matter how hard she tried, she just couldn't seem to get ahead. She was stuck in a cycle of negativity that was causing her to feel depressed and hopeless. One day she heard a message from a pastor that changed her life. The pastor was talking about the power of the mind and how our thoughts can either make us or break us. He shared a story about a man who had a farm. The man had planted all kinds of crops on his farm, but there was one field that was full of weeds. No matter how much he tried, he just couldn't seem to get rid of them. One day he met an old farmer who told him, "Son, I see you're struggling with the weeds in your field, but I've got a solution for you. Just plant some corn in that field, and the weeds will disappear." So the young farmer did just that. And sure enough, by the time the corn grew up, the weeds had completely disappeared. The old farmer explained to him, "You see, corn grows straight up, but weeds grow sideways. Corn takes all the space, so the weeds have nowhere to grow." The young farmer was amazed. He realized that he had been trying to fight the weeds by hand, but he never thought to just plant something that would crowd them out. From that day on, he planted corn all over his fields, and he never had a problem with weeds again. The pastor then said to the young woman, "You see, your mind is like that field. You have allowed negative thoughts to take root and grow. But there is a solution. We'll just plant good thoughts and watch the negative ones disappear." That's exactly what she did. She began to focus on positive affirmations and Bible verses. She replaced negative thoughts with positive ones, and over time she noticed a huge difference. Her depression lifted, and she began to feel like herself again. She realized that she was beautiful, smart, and capable, and with God on her side, she could accomplish anything. This can be difficult because often we try to convince ourselves that we are not like other people who think negatively. But the truth is we all do. It's just part of being human. Negative thoughts are like weeds in a garden. If you don't take care of them, they will grow and take over. But if you tend to your garden, water the good seeds and pull out the weeds, you can have a beautiful garden. In the same way, we need to tend to our thoughts. We need to be aware of them and choose which ones we want to focus on. It's not easy, but it's worth it. When we choose to focus on the good, we attract good things into our lives. When we focus on the bad, we attract bad things. What we think about, we bring about. As Christians, we have the Holy Spirit living inside of us. He wants to help us overcome negative thinking, but we have to let Him. We have to acknowledge our negative thoughts and ask God to help us change them into positive ones. If you answered yes to any of these questions, I want you to know that there is hope. Today I will share with you 3 steps that will help you to stop thinking negatively and start thinking positively. Now, this may not be an easy message to hear, but it is an important one. Step 1. Acknowledge your negative thoughts. You see, negative thoughts can cause us to feel bad about ourselves. Step 2. Replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Step 3. Ask God for help. Look, don't let negative thoughts keep you from living the life God has planned for you. Thank you for watching. I pray that you enjoyed this video and that it will help you to stop thinking negatively and start thinking positively.